Hello again and welcome back to another showcase video, this time for my Sisters of Battle army, as you can see in front of you. This army is a little bit different from my other ones because this is a 40k army, the only one I have and likely / hopefully the only one I will get. I did used to have an Imperial Guard army back when I was I guess about 17, 18 or something like that, and then I sold them around 2010-ish or something like that because I didn't really play 40k that much and I needed money to, I think, buy Dogs of War. I still have a Baneblade left though, but the rest of the army is gone. But the Sister Battle is an army that I have always liked, but because of their pricing back when they were in metal, it wasn't really feasible to buy a whole army of them. And of course, they're not really cheaper to buy now when they're in plastic, but I have a little bit more disposable income now as an adult than I had back as a teenager, so it was a little bit more manageable to collect them nowadays. Even so, it was not really an army that I had originally planned to buy. I had been looking at them also for quite a while and thought to myself that these are really, really cool and it would be great to have an army of them. But since I still don't play 40k, I wasn't really going to get an army of them. But then I went by the local toy store with my wife one day, and we were just looking to see what was available in terms of Warhammer. And I was standing there looking at the Sister Battle models, and then, as it turns out, the store owner is an earlier colleague of mine from. He used to work at the same office as I work now, and he set me up with a decent discount, which means that these models were a bit more accessible, and I managed to convince my wife to let me start collecting box and a box of retributors, and so that's how I got started back in December. And yeah, I bought all of this between December and last week really. I didn't buy everything at the same time in one go, as I often do with other armies because I figured I was going to be a good boy and only buy as I painted. But then it turns out that Games Workshop had quite a bit of delivery issues, which meant that I had to wait pretty much a whole extra month just for the last characters to arrive, which was a little bit annoying. But the army is all painted now. Again, this is about 2 months worth of painting all in all, mostly painted in January and December. And it's all painted to a okay-ish tabletop standard. I haven't really done much effort with painting the faces on them or anything like that, but it looks pretty good from a distance, and that's what counts. I am mostly happy with the color scheme for the armor, which is Army Painter Night Scales. It's a metallic black, which is really, really nice. I highly recommend it if you are wanting to paint the black armor yourself. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling for now. So let's get started with the rest of the units, shall we? First up here, we have an Exorcist tank, which is a mobile artillery tank that shoots rockets as you play the organ, which is pretty funny and extremely 40k. I have no idea how the fire mechanics of it's actually supposed to work, but I don't think it really matters because it's pretty damn awesome the way it works in a incredibly silly fashion. And here we have a Chimera, the basic transport unit there. I actually hand painted this one in black, and after that I realized that I should really get myself a black primer, which I then did, and that saved a lot of time painting the remaining tanks. Here we have an Immolator, which is the big flamethrower tank. It was pretty interesting with this one is that the glass panel is actually clear plastic, and at first I tried to sort of paint it with colored washes to make it look like stained glass windows, but the effect wasn't very good, and it ended up being so murky that you couldn't really see through it at all, so it was kind of useless in terms of battlefield viability. Not that Sister Battles really care that much about battlefield viability when it comes to their design, but I mean, it looks cool. So, but I ended up stripping the paint of the glass and just repainting it by painting the metal parts essentially and leaving the glass as is. And I think it looks good enough, and you can actually see through it now, which is the good thing. Here we have a Castigator, the Sister Battle tank. This one was actually a really quick paint job. I think I spent about 2 or 3 hours on this one maximum, which is it's pretty nice for a bigger model like this. So nice and easy, quick paint job. Here we have some penitent engines. Actually, these are mortifiers, if I'm going to be more precise. I hadn't actually planned on buying any of these because I didn't really like them too much, mainly because I want my Sister Battle army to be only Sisters of Battle, and I don't want to have any other heretics or anything like that in it. But then I saw that you could actually build these as mortifiers with penitent sisters. No, sorry, repentia that can be attached to it as well. So I figured, yeah, that's good enough. I can go with that. I still think that the previous model in plastic had a cooler, I guess, driver, what you want to call it. So kind of wish I had that. But yeah, these are good enough for my needs. And here we have Unith Eruthia, the Blazing Heart. This was one of the last characters I painted. I did a pretty quick paint scheme on this one. The white doesn't have any shading at all. It's just Vallejo off-white, really, on the eagle itself. I unfortunately actually glued on the bracer the wrong way, so I had to cut it off and then reattach it the right way. But it ended up pretty well, so it's not really noticeable. And here we have the Triumph of Saint Catherine. I was pretty scared to paint this model because it looked extremely overly detailed, and I was worried that I am not gonna be able to paint this model well at all. But it ended up being okay. It's painted to a tabletop standard, which I guess is maybe a little bit of a shame for a display piece like this, but it looks good enough from a distance, and yeah, I'm happy enough with it as is. It took quite a while to get it done, though, maybe about 10 hours or so, which is more than I'd like to spend on a single model. But yeah, it looks really cool on as a display piece on Battlefield. And here we have Saint Celestine herself, one of my favorite Warhammer 40k characters. I probably would say it's my favorite 40k character. Uh, Painted her fairly basically with a bronze armor rather than a gold one because I felt that that would fit better with the rest of the army, which are painted in bronze. I actually have a statue of her in 1/12 scale that is going to be delivered next month, and I'm really looking forward to painting that up. And I'm probably going to do another little short video on that one once it's done. And here we have my Paragon Warsuits, also known as the baby carriages. These are pretty cool. I'm happy how these turned out. I gave them all helmeted heads because it was a little silly to me to leave them with obvious video game weak spots that the helmetless head would have meant. Even though I usually prefer Scissor Battle without helmets, I felt that since these are a bit more elite, kind of like the Celestians, they deserve to have helmets just to show off their elite status. And here we have some more Celestians, Celestian Sacrosancts to be precise. These ones are armed with halberds or polearms, not quite sure what they call them in the official rules. These ones will give it the helmeted heads as well to show off their elite status. And here we have some Seraphim. These are from the Start Collecting box. Nothing special about these. You can only build them one way, so that's what I did. Got some with helmets, some without. And here we have my Dominion squad featuring Tariana Palos. Tariana Palos is the limited edition Battle Sister, which is really, really cool. I have her as an art piece on the wall as well, which I showcased in my hobby video. And this is a very good likeness of her. And other than that, the Dominions are just Battle Sisters with specialist weapons, really. And here we have my Celestian squad. As you can see, I've given them all helmets with the Fleur de Lis on the front of the helmet to showcase their elite status, and added some transfers to their clothing as well to mark them up as being a little bit higher rank than the regular Battle Sisters. Here we have my Retributor squad. This is one of the first boxes I bought for them. I kind of wish I would have built 2 of these with multi-meltas, because I built 2 of them with heavy bolters instead, because I really like the heavy bolters. But the OCD in me is a little upset because I have 2 sisters with heavy flamers, and I have 3 sisters with heavy bolters, but only 1 sister with a multi-melta in total for my infantry. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to live with that one. I gave the leader a helmet. Normally, I would have liked given her a helmet-less head to fit with her squad, but the Sister Superior head without a helmet for this kit is kind of ugly looking, and it fits better holding the book, which I didn't really want. So that's why I went with the helmeted head on this one. Here we have my Sephirim squad, armed with power swords and bolt pistols. Nothing too special about these ones either. I don't think you could build these any other way. Um, you know, black armor, black clothing, helmeted heads. I think I did a little too much heavy on the orange on the flames there. It is some yellow in the bottom of it, which you can see from a different angle. But yeah, it is what it is. Now we have more Celestial Sacrosancts with maces. I had actually only planned to get 1 unit of these in total, but I got both of the Christmas Battle Forces, 1 of each, as in the Sanctorum Guard and the whatever the thing was called that came out before. Purgatus Mission. Yeah, I got hold of both of those for a decent price, and so I have 2 squads of Celestial Sacrosancts in total. These ones with maces and the hoods instead of the helmets. Here we have some novitiates with auto pistols and swords, or I think that's called melee weapons. I had only planned to buy 1 of these boxes originally, and I didn't actually know that you could build them as a unique, or rather unique, like a normal squad. I thought they only had the specialist weapons, and I wanted the kill team box for a sense of completion. But then I found out that, oh, you can actually build these with regular weapons like a normal squad. And then I was pondering, should I give them auto counts or should I give them auto pistols? And in the end, I decided I couldn't choose, so I bought another box. So I have 2 units of these. Here we have some Battle Sisters. These are the regular Battle Sisters, the multi-part ones. Got a heavy flamer in there, and I don't think I have any other special weapons in there because I have those in the Dominion squad instead. So I wanted to have as many as possible with regular bolters. And here we have my sister Repentia. This is a mix of the Start Collecting box and the regular Repentia box. I really wish they had a bit more of a gothic look to them. I kind of prefer the look of the metal scouts, but I wanted to have an all plastic army, for a sense of cohesion, I suppose. Plus, scale-wise, the old metals are not really gonna fit well with these ones. But I do wish they had more of a gothic look to them. I don't hate these models, but the older style was definitely cooler in my opinion. Here we have another box, not just box, a squad of Battle Sisters. These are mainly the Start Collecting models. I did mix up it a little bit with the regular Battle Sister box to avoid having duplicate models in the unit. So some of those moved to the other squad and vice versa. This squad has a Flamer and a Stormbolter included in it. And then we have my other squad of Novitiates, this one armed with auto guns. They also have a banner. I have a different banner in each of the units there. And they also have a flamer as a special weapon. Now we're on to characters. Here we have a Calidus Assassin and Inquisitor Greyfax. Calidus Assassin was simply painted black and then given a coat of hard coat to make it look like look at shiny latex or something like that. Really cool model. I had one in resin as well, the older version, but that one is so small compared to the newer models, so I figure it's gonna look weird in the rest of the army. So I settled for just having this one in plastic. Inquisitor Graphics is a fantastic model too. Really happy I have that one. Would kind of want one in a bigger scale, but I haven't really found any that I really like yet. So we'll see. Here we have some more characters. We have a Dialogus, a Hospitaller, and a Sister Dogmata. I did some sort of attempt on painting eyes on the Dialogus because I felt it looked a little too flat otherwise, but I normally don't really bother painting eyes on 28mm models because I think it's too much hassle for its worth because you're gonna look at these from 3 feet away and you're not really gonna be looking much at the eye detail at that point. So I went with very, very simple paint job there. The Hospitaller is strangely enough on a 60mm base because of the whole diorama thing. You could actually put on a regular 32mm base and she would be just fine. But I mean, I'm not gonna discard the whole diorama when it's included, so I decided to put her on the 60mm base still. The Dogmata, I went with the helmeted head because the head was included. Without a helmet, it's kind of ugly looking. So normally I prefer my characters to have their faces showing, but for the Dogmata, I made a bit of an exception. Here we have Morven Wall, the, I guess, general of the army. Very, very cool model. I went again with a bronze color scheme. I tried out some brass and some copper as well, but I figured I wanted to have a uniform metallic gold color, so I just went with the bronze color that I'm go for with the rest of the army. Nothing special in terms of painting on this one, but it ended up cool enough, so I'm happy enough with it. And here we have what's her name again? Astrid Thurga and Agathe Dolan. Up with these names. And this one was a fairly recent purchase. I'm pretty happy with it overall. The banner turned out fine, so it's yeah, it's a decent enough paint job considering I didn't spend too much time on it. And really cool model overall. Again, I went with the helmeted head. At least you can see her face. The haircut on the non-helmeted head is kind of silly looking. Not a big fan of it, so helmet was a pretty easy choice for her. And we have Efrael Stern, or however you pronounce that again. Sounds kind of German. Kind of cool model as well. The face is a little bit, I don't know, she looks a little bit manic. But yeah, the model itself is really cool. I do not have Kyganil though. I do not really like it. I don't need any Elder in my army, only want my Warrior Nuns. So she is going solo on this one. Here we have some more characters. I have the Palatine, and I have the what do you call them exactly? Imagnifier with the big banner there. And I also have Sister Superior Amalia Novena, which I also have as an art piece on the wall. Amalia Novena is a really, really cool model. Happy I have that one, but man, those prices are from Games Workshop. It's like, what is it, 30 bucks or something like that for a 9-point model, I think. Oof, rough. Lastly, we have some more characters. These are some canonesses, or how you're supposed to pronounce that. These are the canoness from the Start Collecting box. You have the canoness from the standalone box, and you also have canoness Viridian, which is in resin, based on the Jon Blanche artwork. And I don't actually have an art piece of her. I'm not a huge Jon Blanche fan overall. I kind of like this art piece, but I think there are better ones in Sister Battle, so I'm sticking to the 3 ones I already have. And that is the whole army showcase. Turned out to be a little bit longer video than I had planned, but well, I guess that gives you something to look at or listen to at least while you paint, hopefully. It was quite a bit of fun to paint this army. I do like painting female minis quite a lot. Not sure why. I just do. Might have to do with some aesthetical reasons, probably. And especially like I said, I'm really happy with how the armor turned out. Next up, I am going to be painting up my Orcs and Goblins army, which I have started. I'm about 13% done already. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get those finished. I had planned to do it in either 2 or 3 months. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have to spend on them in this month in April, though. I have a whole bunch more statues coming in that I'm going to be painting first, but I'm going to be painting Orcs in between. But I'm probably expecting my Orc army to be done around maybe May or so, something like that. But I'll probably do some more, smaller statue videos or something like that in case people are interested. Anyway, I think that's all for today. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.